Today I've come to Salem Village, Massachusetts in the year 1692. Looks peaceful, I know, but over the next few weeks, this tiny farming neighborhood is going to become the site of the most infamous witch hunt in American history. Over 200 will be accused, 20 executed, and it all starts here. You might want to buckle up for this one. The village was a deeply religious community, about 500 people known as Puritans, English Protestants who fled to America to build what they called a godly society and believed the devil was real. People are already on edge. There's been a smallpox outbreak, land disputes, fear of native attacks. Basically, the perfect conditions for mass hysteria. That building behind me is the meeting house. It's the heart of the village, a church, a courthouse, and a town hall all in one. Very soon it's going to host the first witch trial examinations. And that wooden post, that's where people are publicly punished for missing church, gossiping, anything deemed to be a sin. This is a Puritan family at prayer. They'll do this before every meal, every morning, and every night. The Bible was the law, the news, and the entertainment all in one. And if you're wondering where the fun was, there wasn't any. So that's Salem in 1692. Tense, deeply religious, watchful. Before things kick off, I want to talk to someone, get a feel for how people here actually live and what they're afraid of. Hi, sir. Thanks for talking to me. Could I ask, what's life like here in Salem right now?
It's been hard, I'm afraid. The winters are long, the harvest has been poor, and there's a darkness among the people of late.
What do you mean by darkness?
There's talk of the devil's hand in this village, strange afflictions at the minister's house.
The minister's house?
Yes, his own daughter and the niece. Fits, I'm afraid. Terrible fits.
And what are people saying about who's behind it?
Suspicions are leaning towards Tituba, an enslaved woman in the minister's own household. I can't say any more through fear of punishment. If you want answers, I'd go and see for yourself.
Feels like I just accepted a side quest from a local NPC in a cult storyline. Moving on, the enslaved woman he mentioned, Tituba, she doesn't know it yet, but her life is about to be turned upside down in an instant. And that minister the farmer mentioned, Reverend Parris, he lives in that house just there with his 9-year-old daughter Betty and his 11-year-old niece Abigail. Going on inside right now is a chain of events that ends with 20 people dead. And I'm going in. So I'm inside the Parris house and the farmer wasn't wrong. Somewhere upstairs, 2 young girls are already having fits that nobody in this village can explain. And instead of getting them help, this village is going to call it witchcraft. I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to head upstairs. I got to see this for myself. Also, 93% of you watching aren't subscribed yet. If you're enjoying this so far, hit that button. All right, let's do this. This is their room. The doctor finds no physical cause, no illness, no fever, nothing. His conclusion? Witchcraft. And judging by the vibe in this room right now, I don't entirely blame him. That's her, Tituba. Her origins are unclear, likely South America or the Caribbean. She was captured as a child and brought to Salem as a slave.
You brought the devil into this house. Confess it!
I did not, Master. I would never hurt those girls.
He's certain she's a witch and nothing will convince him otherwise.
I didn't do it. I swear it. I didn't do anything.
Parris just threw her onto the streets and she'll eventually confess to witchcraft. Not because she's guilty, but because confessing is the only thing that might save your life. Deny it? You hang. Fast forward a few weeks, and more people are being accused every day. More children are exhibiting the same symptoms, and nobody knows why. Screaming, convulsing, running on all fours, even claiming invisible hands are stabbing them. The whole village is unraveling, and I genuinely need a drink at this point. Okay, so most people in here look very unsettled, which, fair enough. But that woman over there, she looks annoyed, which in 1692 Salem is honestly refreshing. Let's see if she'll talk to us. Do you know what happened to Reverend Parris's maid? He threw her out a few weeks ago. Of course, word gets around, you know. Arrested along with 2 others and currently in a jail cell. More people are accused every day now. They're calling it witchcraft. Are you kidding me? I feel like I'm the only sane one left in this village. So you don't think any of it's real? I think frightened people see what they want to see, and powerful men use that fear to control everyone beneath them. She just said that out loud in 1692, right? You ask a lot of questions for someone who isn't from here. Be careful what you say, and who you say it to. You don't want them suspecting you. I don't know if that was concern or a threat, but either way, noted. I'll be watching you. Feeling unsettled after that, but it seems she wasn't wrong on the accusation front. Women are being dragged through the streets. People are pointing at their neighbors. Children are screaming. This went from one accusation to absolute chaos in a matter of weeks. There's a trial happening inside the meeting house right now, and the whole village has turned up outside. These aren't just spectators. These people are genuinely terrified. They believe the devil is inside that building right now. I need to get inside. No defense, no lawyer. No presumption of innocence. The accused stands completely alone. And the afflicted girls sit right there, screaming, pointing, performing, and every reaction is taken as hard evidence. These people never stood a chance. One of those girls just screamed that she can see that woman's spirit flying around the room. Invisible, unprovable. And the magistrate just wrote it down as what they called spectral evidence. No witnesses, no proof. Just a girl's word. And it is enough to hang someone.
Bridget Bishop, you are hereby found guilty of witchcraft. You shall be hanged by the neck until dead.
Her name is Bridget Bishop. She claimed innocence every single second of that trial. She'll be the first to hang. 19 more will follow. Proctor's Ledge, June 10, 1692. They brought her through the entire village to get here while everyone watched. They hanged her from a tree. Her body was then thrown into a rocky crevice. No burial, because witches didn't deserve one. Of course she was innocent. Bridget Bishop is just the first. Rebecca Nurse, a 71-year-old grandmother, hanged. And her sister Mary Easty, who wrote to the court not to save herself, but to beg them to spare future victims. Jailed, and then also hanged. That creepy-looking man right there is Cotton Mather, a minister so embedded in government that his word carries the weight of law, and back then the church and the state are the same thing. Question the church, you question the law. Question him, you question God. He didn't accuse anyone and he didn't need to. He just made sure the machine kept running. Call me paranoid, but people are starting to look at me differently. Like, weird looks. The kind of looks that in 1692 Salem, you really don't want. You need to stop. People have noticed you. You're asking too many questions and people are starting to point fingers at you. I mean it. Go somewhere quiet. Keep your head down. She's right. I've been pushing my luck since I got here with this camera. I hope it's not too late. So the mystery woman told me to keep my head down, and I'm trying. But I've been in this village for weeks now, and people have definitely clocked me. These looks are getting more intense by the second. My gut's telling me something bad is about to happen.
That woman. Look at her, talking to a mysterious object in her hand, wandering where she shouldn't be. She is not from this village, and she is not of God.
Yeah, this is going south real quick. Okay, everyone just calm down. I am not a witch. They're not even real. I don't even know what...
Witch!
I don't even know what... I'm just talking. I'm not doing anything. You don't understand. I'm not from here. I'm a time traveler. As if that's gonna help my case.
Hold your tongue. Where you're going, nobody will hear you. Witch!
No, I'm not a witch!
Hold your tongue.
They gave me a trial. Took about 10 minutes. Spectral evidence. Guilty. I didn't even get to finish a sentence. They took my clothes, said they were cursed, burned them. Same with my rings, necklace, and watch. Only reason I still have my phone is because it's a hologram to them. They can't touch it. Thank God time travel has its safety measures.
Confess, witch! Spare your soul! You cannot hide
This
from
is what they
God.
did to all of them. Rebecca Nurse, Bridget Bishop, Tituba. Every single one of them sat in a cell like this and had a mob screaming at them through the bars.
To hell, witch!
And you know what's crazy? These people genuinely believe that I'm the monster. I don't know how they did it. Sitting in here, day after day, not knowing if anyone was coming. I've been here one night and I'm already falling apart. These women sat in cells like this for weeks, months, knowing what awaited them. No innocent human being should have to suffer this fate. Tituba, where are they taking you?
I couldn't take it anymore. I confessed.
But why haven't they?
If you confess, they keep you alive hoping you'll name the others.
They'll keep interrogating her until she gives them names, real or not.
If you confess, you'll spare yourself from further suffering. God will show mercy to those who speak the truth.
Truth is, I'm a time traveler from 2026, but somehow I don't think you'd believe that. Having said that, you think I'm a witch, so maybe you would.
That's something a witch would say.
I need to find a way to get out of here. I can't teleport back to the future unless I'm in a safe place, or I'm almost certainly not going to exist anymore. My hanging's set for tomorrow morning. I think my best chance of an escape is going to be once I'm out of this cell. I'll see you then.
It's time.
I spent all night trying to figure a way out of this, every scenario, every possibility. And I'm out of ideas. Okay, they're taking me to Gallows Hill. Same path as Bridget, only I'm the victim this time. I don't think I'm gonna get out of this one. This is actually happening. So, this is it. Proctor's Ledge, the same tree. I keep thinking someone's gonna come. I keep thinking, not yet, not like this. If anyone's watching this, tell them I was here. I'm sorry it had to end like this.
That woman there! I've seen her with the devil! She's a witch! I swear it before God! Run!
Wait, why are you helping me? You could get killed for this. Because I know you're not a witch. You're something far greater. That camera, the time warps, it's clear you serve a greater purpose than to be killed in this solemn village. How do you know what a camera is? And why has your face changed? Why do you look like me? Because I am you. I disguised myself this whole time. I had to save you in order to save myself. We have to part right now. Good luck. That was me? So yeah, you saw that, right? Apparently at some point in my future, I come back to 1692 as that woman, disguise my face, and make sure I survive long enough to escape. Time travel is weird, man. All in all, the witch trials lasted just over a year, from February 1692 to May 1693. That's all it took for an entire village to turn on itself and execute 20 innocent people. How did they end? The governor shut down the courts after his own wife was accused. So what actually caused those fits? The leading theory is ergot, a hallucinatic fungus that grows on rye grain. The 1691 harvest was warm and wet, perfect conditions for it to spread. Convulsions, hallucinations, burning sensations under the skin. Basically, accidental LSD in the bread. Another theory? Mass hysteria, fear, religion, stress, and a community already on edge. The human mind is capable of producing every single one of those symptoms completely on its own, which is somehow even more terrifying. 19 years later, the Massachusetts government officially apologized. For most of the victims' families, that apology came too late to matter. Mass hysteria didn't end in 1692, it never ends. Every generation finds its own version, a community, a fear, a scapegoat, someone who doesn't fit, someone who's easy to blame. The only thing that has ever stopped it is someone willing to say that this isn't right, regardless of the consequences. All right, guys, that's a wrap. I need to find a safe place to get out of here. But before I go, if you made it to the end, I want to say thank you. It was quite a journey. Be sure to subscribe as there will be a new video every Friday. Also, let me know down below where I should go next. I'm always looking for new places to time travel to. Anyways, bye!